Hello my friends, I have been using Fujifilm X100VI for more than a year, which means that it is time for a long-term review. The release of the X100VI has created an unprecedented hype followed by an influx of opinions about Fujifilm's latest premium compact. I think that the dust has settled just enough to take a step back and share my long-term experiences with the X100VI. In this video, we will talk about how it performed over the past year, and I will try to answer your questions from previous videos. So the X100VI has managed to get a lot of attention from people who are usually not interested in standalone cameras. As you definitely know by now, the X100 line is a bit of a phenomenon on social media, where it probably benefits more from its vintage look than from the output and performance. As any extremely popular product nowadays, it has naturally attracted some amount of unfavorable commentary, but that certainly did not have a significant effect on X100VI's popularity. People are still asking about it and they still think that it is a film camera, so the vintage styling definitely works. My 1-year-old unit looks as good as new since I have taken a good care of it. I have solved the unsealed front element of the lens by using a Nisi UV filter. It attaches over the front element and it completely seals the camera, but it affects the look a little bit. There is also a version with integrated lens hood, which looks great in my opinion. Regarding the rest of my X100VI setup, I use PGY-Tech Shoulder Strap Air Retro Edition in earth brown color attached by simple keyrings. This is by far the best option that I found in terms of styling, quality and comfort. I have also changed the original hot shoe cover for the metal one from Smallrik, and I also use a red shutter button extension also from Smallrik. As I've explained in my original review, the 6th iteration in the X100 series is all about combining that vintage styling and form factor with Fujifilm's latest hardware. The 3 main improvements over the X100V are the new sensor, new processor and in-body image stabilization. The X-Trans 5 HR sensor has been around for about 3 years, so we already know that it is very advanced but also very demanding when it comes to lens quality. On the other hand, as far as the available information goes, the lens has not been changed. Some reviewers said that there is no point in using a 40 megapixel sensor with this lens because it can't capture any more detail than with a 26 megapixel sensor. As I've explained in my separate X100VI lens review, that is not true, but you are getting diminishing returns with increasing resolution. Long story short, it takes very nice pictures with a really good amount of detail, considering that it uses a bright pancake lens. If you are interested in this topic, take a look at my lens review linked in the description. One of the most significant developments in the X100VI over the past year for me personally is the release of Freewell 0.75x and 1.5x adapters. I am still a fan of 35mm focal length and I think that it is an obvious choice for the X100 series, but having that 28mm option is really nice. It is a great focal length if you shoot a lot of cityscapes and architecture, which is what I do most of the time. The optical quality is excellent with pretty much no loss of detail. It will introduce a lot of distortion if you are focusing on close objects, so you might want to correct that manually. The adapter weighs 174 grams, so it doesn't spoil the compact design that much and it can be very easily attached using the lens thread. The silver color matches the silver on the X100VI perfectly and it is fully metal, so it definitely doesn't decrease the premiumness of the X100VI. It is also a macro adapter, but I don't use macro functionality very often. I also have the 1.5x adapter, which gives you about 53mm full frame equivalent. I don't use it that much, but it is very useful for portraits, for example. In terms of the dynamic range and ISO, it is among the best APS-C sensors, as I've explained in my previous videos of cameras with X-Trans 5 HR. One of the things that I haven't mentioned in my original review is the option to use digital zoom, which can be set to the lens ring. It will only crop JPEGs, so if you shoot RAW and JPEG, you will still get uncropped picture. The X100VI is all about the character, and in my opinion the combination of the sensor, lens and film simulations gives the X100VI a lot of character. My default film simulation with the X100VI is the new Reala Ace, which is pretty close to standard or Provia, but with slightly different tonality. I use JPEGs with the X100VI a lot more than with other cameras. Fujifilm's approach gives you maximal simplicity and some connection to that film heritage, which further increases the overall vintage feel. My experience with the autofocus in the stills mode has been a lot better than I expected. It is fast and it is accurate. There is not much more that I can say about that. That applies even to the low light and the low contrast situations, which wasn't always the case with previous generations. The biggest surprise for me is that I was able to get a perfect hit rate in my walking towards the camera test at f2, even in pretty difficult light conditions. This camera isn't really meant for fast action, but the autofocus can handle tracking in reasonable situations very well. 20 frames per second with electronic shutter and 11 with mechanical shutter is not a bad value for this type of camera, but the buffer can only take 35 RAWs, so you will either have to manage that or use JPEGs. The video autofocus is basically what you would get with other Fujifilm cameras of this generation paired with an older lens. The accuracy and the speed is again fine, but there will be some hunting in more extreme situations. In this case, I really don't think that anybody will want to do that with the X100. The worst thing about the video autofocus is the sound, because it is not particularly quiet and it will be picked up by in-camera microphone or shotgun microphone. Should we criticize Fujifilm for that? Well, I'm not aware of any pancake lens around this focal length with quiet focus motors, so at this stage of technology it seems to be a compromise. If you are aware of such lens, please let me know in the comments. The user experience has always been the biggest highlight of the X100 series, and I would say that it continues to be the case. The combination of the design, compact size, materials and controls makes it feel special. Some say that this aspect of the X100 series is overhyped, but I personally enjoy using it a lot. The controls are actually rather complete considering the size and intended style of use of the X100VI. Besides the signature combined ISO and shutter speed dial, you are also getting 2 command dials, exposure compensation dial, 2 free programmable buttons and a dedicated focus mode switch. As I've said multiple times, the X100VI is primarily meant to be a very enjoyable camera, but you can definitely set it up for professional use. The X100VI relies a lot on the joystick, which is what I personally prefer. I still don't miss the D-pad on this one at all, mostly because of the combined exposure dial and Q menu, which is in my opinion still the best of all function menus on the market. The in-body image stabilization is probably the biggest upgrade over the previous generations. I can say that it very significantly changed the way that I use X100 camera. The in-body image stabilization is rated for 6 stops, which doesn't really mean much nowadays, but I would say that it is again roughly as good as in the X-T4. Considering the size and internal configuration of the X100 series, I would say that it is a success. Especially with that 40 megapixel resolution, it is almost a necessity. It allows you to use the X100VI in low light with much lower ISO or narrower aperture, as long as you are photographing a static subject, which dramatically increases the image quality. It helps at least as much in the video, where the benefits are pretty obvious, I would say. The X100VI also has very solid electronic image stabilization, which can be combined with in-body image stabilization and further increase the stability. Overall, the IBIS is a great addition to the X100 line. Regarding the video, it is actually a surprisingly solid video camera. It shoots nice no-crop 4K video and even 6.2K. 4K 60p actually comes with a very acceptable 1.18x crop on the X100VI. Besides that, there is a fully downsampled mode with 1.23x crop. The video quality of regular 4K is again comparable to 4th generation Fujifilm cameras such as X-T4, which is not bad at all. There isn't really any reason not to use it for video, despite that it is clearly a stills-oriented camera. The access to the video mode through the dry mode is not ideal, but also not terrible. Personally, I don't use it for video very often. Actually, the biggest weakness of the X100VI for the video is that focus motor sound, which will be captured. That is the main reason why I pretty much use it only for occasional B-roll shots. I have also found it to be a pretty good B or C camera for more video-oriented Fujifilm cameras such as the X-H2. The F-Log 2 is also available and it is one of the best log profiles on the market. Another element contributing to the unique user experience is the optical rangefinder. It is not a very pragmatic option, but it certainly gives the X100VI a more analog experience. If you want to use an electronic viewfinder, it is available and it is a decent 3.69 million dot panel with 0.66 times magnification. The X100VI uses the smaller W126 battery. The CIPA rating is 450 shots, which is pretty solid nowadays, and I have found the battery life to be even better in the real-world use. Especially if you use that rangefinder, you will easily get through a very long photo sessions. About 63 minutes of 4K video is also a good value. I think that the most interesting competitor of the X100VI is the new Panasonic S9. It is without a doubt a very different concept, but there actually is some overlap. I have made a full comparison video of the S9 and X100VI and it will be linked in the description. To sum up, I will still say that the X100VI is a special digital camera. The looks and the user experience are still as good as ever with the X100 line, and the technological upgrades make it a much more capable camera. It seems that some people are judging the X100VI as a purely pragmatic workhorse camera, which is definitely not the right way to look at it. If you want something to, for example, commercially shoot events, this is obviously not the best choice unless you really know what you're getting into. On the other hand, if you want something stylish and enjoyable with very solid output, it definitely is a very good choice. The IBIS, the new sensor and the processor are very meaningful updates. Even the autofocus is very decent. After 1 year of use, the only thing that I would straight up criticize the X100VI for is the UHS-1 card slot. Other than that, I don't think that there is much to criticize at this stage of technology. Quiet autofocus mode in the lens would be nice, so I hope that it will be solved in the next generation. Some aspects of the video may also be improved, but that is not the primary role of the X100 series. Fujifilm X100VI remains one of my all-time favorite cameras that I've ever tested. It is a unique camera that can provide really good output with plenty of character whilst being a lot of fun to use. The availability has also somewhat improved, so if you can get one, I still highly recommend it. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching, I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share your opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.